Today we're going to be knocking in this rock and roll mid-eye length, a natural inversion bob. It really soft and textured, a little salt spray, let the haircut shine, walk away. All right, just kind of styling this in with my hands a little bit, and then we're just going to knock in that mid-length bob. Just real loose, like almost chewed on, walking it around at shape fall, keeping it as square as possible as we come through. Just holding it real loose. I'm not combing the top much, pushing it around as we cut, and then just walking this through. Just want it to be about middle of the neck there. Knocking in a quick natural inversion. Just gonna pull this out, using that hair at the bottom as my guide, and then just kind of break through this slightly. And then walking it up, keeping it pretty square. And then we might come down here and just kind of pinch off this weight and keep that shape going under. And you could be pretty aggressive there if you wanted to go almost like a G-bob. Just kind of pulling that hair back a little bit, still keeping a very loose feel to it all, a little natural, a little negative space in there, bringing that natural inversion layering pattern back. That last corner panel, we're coming straight back with it, taking that negative space out, walking our line up, being careful not to cut off our weight on our length, right? And then because I'm pulling this all back, as I turn, it's gonna get weightier as we come towards the face. Just kind of coming in so you can see it. I'm cutting on the opposite side I normally would, and then just coming in, flipping my hands over, coming in, and just knocking that weight off as I come up, creating that movement forward. Finishing off that last panel of the back. You notice I just keep going. I'm not overly concerned. I know where that hair is in my hand. Bam, 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 bam. So I'm not concerned if I pull hair from another section. It doesn't really matter. Now I'm going to flip my fingers over, come in, and then just continue that natural inversion all the way up, pushing that hair, that weight forward as we turn. Now right here, we could come in and just get some connection on the length, push that hair forward. This is a good time to do this because visually you don't want to cut off any weight when you're coming in with your layering pattern over those back behind the ear sections, because that's where it'll get thinned out. So if we come in and do that now, it's okay, it's visual. We're not going to take any weight off that we don't need, and just whatever your tastes are. All right, so continuing this diagonal, steep diagonal forward into the front section, I'm going to invert slightly because we want that weight to shift down as we come forward. I'm just going to knock in some negative space and then come right on top of that and just blend down. Now we're on top instead of underneath because we want to make sure our layering pattern doesn't get too square there in the front. So knocking it down, it'll push that weight down towards that corner. Last section, inverted slightly, knock in some negative space, and then right on top of that section, just real loose and playful towards that front. Knock in a little negative space, just a couple things for movement, and then just a little bit of that weight, creating that definition and movement towards the face. Last section, inverting slightly, negative space, and then down. So here, if it was too heavy, I could cut with a texture, I could just pop through, whatever you want. Just kind of visually bringing this hair down, straight down in the front. What I think is gonna be the bang area, just pushing it slightly, lifting it up straight out for softness, maybe a little texture pass, just a little messiness in there, so so nothing feels too heavy or too done. And then just kind of the very center of this, kind of squaring it off a bit. And then lifting it up and working that from the center out. But my razor is going up and down. It's not going sideways, up and down. It's moving sideways, but it's going up and down as I come through. And then working itself out. So I can do another pass and go a little shorter if I want. But I find that you always want to leave it just slightly longer because I can knock through this a little bit dry. I'm really liking the shape it is in now. So just a little bit more weight, a little bit more texture, and then knocking in that connection. A little weight out on the corner, being careful not to overdo it, and then knocking in a connection into the forward grad. And then I'm gonna disconnect that forward grad a little bit. So the same as before, we're gonna it's basically the top of the bang section and then down to the back top of the ear. And then we're just gonna pull that up and out and just blend out the bang with the top of the forward graduation. Now I'm gonna disconnect slightly to leave a little bit of kickiness and playfulness on that front corner. So on the other side, diagonal back, pulling that forward graduation up, and then just working on that connection, and then getting off. I don't wanna cut into that. I want that to kind of kick, right? So just kind of layering down on top of it and then letting a small disconnection is gonna encourage a little bit of bounce and kick to that corner. Just touching this with a little beach spray. And then just letting it speak for itself. Just a cute little knocked in natural inversion that's gonna give us that weight towards the front, get that playfulness in how you cut the bangs, mid-eye, just past the eyebrow look best. Sometimes the guests kind of want it right at the eyebrow. I'll kind of make them ask me to go there, but because it looks a little better just past. That's my druthers, real rock and roll chic vibe to this real playful mid-length natural inverted bob.